Let me say something that most people today have absolutely no clue about because our schools don't teach it and the media hides it. And modern activists outright lie about it. People love to scream, Christians invaded Muslim lands. But that is one of the most historically ignorant statements you will ever hear. The truth is plain and simple. Christianity was born in the Middle East, not Europe. This wasn't someone else's land. This is where Jesus himself walked Bethlehem, Jerusalem, Antioch, Damascus, Egypt, Iraq. These were Christian for centuries. Antioch is literally where believers were first called Christians. We're talking first century Christianity, 600 years before Islam even existed. Islam doesn't show up until the 7th century, around 610 AD, and once it did, Islamic empires swept through the Middle East and North Africa with military conquests. They took Jerusalem in 638, Egypt in 640, Syria in 635, Iraq in 636, and eventually North Africa, Persia, and what used to be the Christian Byzantine world. These weren't peaceful dialogues, these were military campaigns. So when people act shocked that the Middle East used to be Christian, it's because they've never actually read history. The Islamic world didn't magically become Muslim overnight. It took centuries of conquest, pressure, taxation, and forced conversions under the Dihami, however you say that, system where Christians were treated as second class citizens and had to pay for the privilege of not being a Muslim. By the time the Crusades happened in 1095, Islam had already taken Christian territory for over 400 years. The Crusades weren't the beginning, they were a response to all this violence from Islam. But today, the narrative is flipped. Christians are painted as the villains, and Islam is framed as the innocent, peace loving victim. Why? Because the world is obsessed with erasing Christian history, especially in the Middle East. Because if people actually knew the truth, they'd realize Christianity wasn't the invader, it was the original foundation of the region. This is why even right now Christian communities in the Middle East are disappearing. They're targeted, persecuted, erased, and the world stays silent because a world under the spirit of the Antichrist wants Christianity completely erased from this earth. Every land, every place. This isn't just a history lesson. This is a spiritual warfare, and it's happening right in front of your face. This is the Sabbath at Midnight. I'm your host, Lionel